Hey folks, Tom Brand here. And on behalf of Merge, we're super excited to be hosting the HCICast video series in preparation of the 25th Annual Healthcare Internet Conference, live in Las Vegas this year. I'm very pleased to be here today with HCIC's very own Kathy Divis and Mike Schneider of Greystone.Net, who will be sharing a little bit more about how the conference is shaping up and what to expect out of this year's show. Kathy, Mike, welcome.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. We're so excited you're here too.
Great. Well, as we get started, we'll just kind of jump in. And Kathy, I'll start with you. Can you tell me a little bit about what's in store for HCIC this year and what attendees can expect from a live conference?
Sure. Yeah, we're so excited about being able to be live back in Vegas this year. And the good news is, I think it's going to look a lot like it has in past years. And we're so excited about that. In the last few weeks, Vegas has really opened up in Clark County. They're back up to 100% capacity, which means although we'll still follow the CDC guidelines, of course, there's not going to be any unusual capacity limits. We're going to have food and beverage like typically like normal, and there won't be any need for masks unless you're not vaccinated. So in a lot of ways, the show is going to look a lot like it has in the past, and we're really thrilled about that because that's what we wanted to happen. And we're hearing more and more from our speakers and our exhibitors and our attendees that they're really pumped to get back and connect with their colleagues, in person. And travel restrictions and budgets seem to be loosening up. So it's really all good news. One thing that is going to be a little different this year, though, is that we're going to start on Tuesday. We're going to start on Tuesday, November 2nd. So the show is going to run from the 2nd to the 4th of November, which is a Tuesday to Thursday pattern because Halloween is on Sunday night. And we wanted to make sure that our attendees could stay with their families and be part of the festivities at home if they wanted to be. Although if you're coming to Vegas, Vegas can be a lot of fun at Halloween.
Yeah, I'm going to have to adjust my travel plans. Hey, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about the purpose of the HCICast video series?
Yeah, sure. We're really thrilled about the HCICast video series this year. This gives us an opportunity for kind of ongoing communication, just to tell folks about what's happening at HCIC. We plan to feature different presentations. Some of our keynote speakers are going to join us in the future. We're going to talk a little bit about the topics that are really hot for healthcare marketers and digital folks. We're going to keep you up to date on the latest. So as you know, the past 18 months plus have been up and down and in terms of travel and so forth. So we're going to keep you in the loop on what's happening in Las Vegas, what's happening with things like masks and restrictions and all of that. We fully expect everything to be wide open and regular conference show. But if anything changes, you'll hear about it on HCICast.
I'm looking forward to Merge being a part of hosting that and helping with the communications this year. For those who maybe aren't as experienced with the conference, can you guys share some perspective as to why healthcare professionals in marketing and the digital space should attend the conference this year?
I think there's a lot of reasons why, but mainly because we haven't been together for 18 months. By the time the conference comes in November, it'll be almost 2 years since we've been together in person. So it'll be an opportunity to really learn from your colleagues and from your friends and from vendors, and to really be able to share your insights too, and just to get out of your home environment and understand what's really happening in the marketplace. What are the new solutions? How are people like you? How are organizations like you? Really addressing everything that's changed recently.
First of all, there's the education component. And we have just a tremendous amount of programming. It's all focused entirely on healthcare and digital. So if you're in the healthcare digital space, this is the one place that you can go to learn about what your colleagues and peers are doing. It's a huge networking opportunity. Each year, this gives you an opportunity to talk to other folks who are in the same situation as you, who have dealt with many of the same issues that you've dealt with, and for you to kind of learn what's going on out there and what other folks are doing. And it's also an opportunity to interact with vendors. There are a lot of folks who have great product offerings and service offerings in our space, and this is your chance to get to the conference and ask some questions, learn a little bit more about what they have to offer when you're in the exhibit hall, and to really mingle. And I think most importantly, it's fun. I mean, there's no doubt that coming to the conference is an opportunity to let your hair down, have some fun, join your colleagues. There is no doubt that Las Vegas is a great place to have a good time.
So speaking of kind of the 25th anniversary, it's a big year. Can you guys talk a little bit about the early days and kind of how the conference has evolved?
We started in 1996. When you stop and you think back of it, I was looking this up for another purpose, but 1996 was a long time ago. The Olympics were in Atlanta at that time, which is our hometown. We were the Sony PlayStation had just debuted at the end of '95. DVD players didn't hit the market till 1997. Blackberries came on the market in 1998. And even the iPhone wasn't introduced until 2007. So if you think about it, actually HCIC is 13, 14 years older than the iPhone, which is hard to believe. But even then, we had 4 tracks of education, and we were looking, and one of them was about using the internet in healthcare. One of them was about leveraging technology to build better relationships. One was about content management. So even though everything has changed, some of the core concepts are still there. It's amazing.
When I think back about the evolution of the conference, it has tracked with the evolution of our segment of the industry. So if you backed up 25 years, our segment of the industry was an extension of the marketing department in healthcare. And so when you looked at websites for hospitals in 1996, what you had was people that would scan in a brochure and create a hyperlink to an image that would take you to a page with a little bit of content. And that was state of the art. I mean, there were literally hospitals that didn't have a website that were getting their first website online. And just that was an accomplishment. And so over time, obviously, that entire thing has evolved. And that's been one of the things as the kind of folks that run the show. Every year, we're trying to figure out where's this space going and what are the cutting edge, our cutting edge peers in the healthcare space in terms of providers doing related to digital. It's exciting to see how it's evolved. And it's funny because back in the day, we had folks who thought this was going to be a flash in the pan.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is really neat to see how, technology has evolved just across the board, but even just in, our little, healthcare marketing subsector, and, how far we've come. So, as I think about the conference this year, and there may be a tendency for folks to be concerned, coming out of the pandemic, is it really going to be live? Is it really going to happen? How should people think about registering, and what kind of confidence level, should we be kind of sharing with folks around that, we're really going to do this?
Tom, at this point, we feel like it's really solid. I mean, we're hearing from our clients, we're hearing from the vendors that budgets are loosening up, that travel restrictions are loosening up, that there's a huge demand to get out and meet in person. So we really think that's going to happen. And if people are ready to register, we encourage them to go to our registration page, which is www.hcic.net/register. And there's a whole series of options there for registering, because you can register for the in-person meeting, for an add-on pre-conference workshop. And one of the new things we're going to have this year is a virtual conference, HCIC Virtual, which is going to be held 1 or 2 days in December. And it's going to be all new content. It's not going to be a rehash of what happened at HCIC live in person in Vegas. So it's going to be all new content. So it's kind of bonus content for those people that were in Vegas. And it's going to be new content for people that perhaps weren't able to come. And so there's a lot of options, for how to participate in HCIC this year. The other thing we'd recommend is that you book your hotel room sooner than later. The official hotel room for HCIC this year is the Cosmopolitan Hotel. Obviously in Vegas, it's on the Strip. It's a spectacular hotel if you haven't been there before. Great views of the strips, the Bellagio fountains, a lot of good things to do in and around the hotel. But, you know, people are booking vacations. It's really seems to be the thing to do this year, to get out and get back onto vacation. So if you haven't booked a hotel room, you know, we encourage you to do it sooner than later. We've got a nice, good size room block, but once it's gone, it's kind of gone. And I can't guarantee with all the people coming to Vegas that we'll be able to accommodate you if you don't book early. And if you're thinking about coming because of Halloween and you want to come a couple days early, then definitely get your Friday, Saturday, Sunday night rooms earlier than later, because Halloween in Vegas, particularly this year, is going to be a blowout, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's great. I know I'm super excited to get out and see everybody this year. So this wraps up our first episode of HCICast. Mike, Kathy, thank you guys so much for joining us here. Thanks for all you guys do to put this conference together, to you and the entire Greystone team. You know, we're really looking forward to it and looking forward to continue the discussion, you know, through this video series as we lead up to the conference.
Great. Thanks for having us, Tom. We're excited too.